97.7 Dundalk FM.
Town Talk.
Anyway, I am delighted to welcome into studio now two more representatives from MOPOSOGS and AAEX who have collaborated on the Awash with Colour project. Angela McCrossan and Una Curley. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
You're very, very welcome. I'm going to who started this ball rolling, because I know somebody gave one thing to somebody and then the other person reacted, so maybe I'll go to the person who is the initiator.
Okay, well, with the AAEX we had during lockdown trying to come up with a project to keep us connected over online, I suppose. So we came up with an idea that we'd send each other postcards, and based on a poem of Felly Speaks. So it was so successful, sending each other just lines that meant something to us, to the other person, that we'd like to continue it. And one of our members, Julie Corcoran, said that she knew MOPOSOGS in Monaghan and Dara McGowan, and that she'd get in touch. And so Cueva O'Dwyer and Dara from MOPOSOGS and our Cueva O'Dwyer got together, and they just we all decided whoever wanted to be part of it would put in their name, and whatever way they randomly picked us out and sent us a piece of work. So we sent a picture or an image to MOPOSOGS, and they sent us a piece of script or prose, and then that's how it all formed. So I was matched with Angela.
Okay, so Una, you are an artist, a visual artist.
Yeah. So
what you sent is a piece I'm looking at here, and obviously, unfortunately, our listeners can't see it, but maybe you describe it for us.
Well, Angela's poem was called The Antrim Coast, and I just read the poem and I was going, landscape's not my thing. You know, I'm a multimedia kind of artist, and I don't do landscapes, but I'm more installation. But it just really struck me that, you know, there was lines in it, and I was coming up with this image of lines, and so I just literally took a pen and just drew the image of the Antrim Coast, the Giant's Causeway, where I had been just months before and had taken loads of photographs. So I just literally just took the pen and ink, and that's what it is. It's a pen drawing, and it's little Ben Bulbins were mentioned in the poem, and I just thought, gosh, that is so apt, and it absolutely does. And the heron taken off, and I had loads of photographs. This heron captivated me on the Giant's Causeway, so that's what I tried to capture in the pen drawing. And
okay, so you did this, and it's very much reflective of what you read rather than what you've seen.
I just totally took it from the words.
The words.
Yeah.
Hey, Angela, you are a poet and a prose writer.
Yes, so I'm a member of a group in Monaghan called MOPOSOGS. We've been running there for 11 years now, and we would meet fortnightly. A group gather. There's about 15 of us in total, and we would explore themes. We would have homework where we would choose a topic and then come back 2 weeks later and write creatively on that, and just play with words and music and song. And it's just a creative forum for self-expression. And I'm a member there now about 5 years, and really get a lot out of it. It's a kind of a landing place for all of the imagination to flow.
Okay, and this is something, is it then that you do as a hobby, or is it your...
It is, and I suppose I came to it in midlife. You know, I always knew it a hankering for language and words. I love playing with words, and then just came on it by chance. It was advertised, the programme that runs out of the Market House in Monaghan, and went along full of trepidation, because you're always wondering whenever you join these groups, you know, where am I? Do I pitch myself? You know, am I good enough? And so, I mean, it was very welcoming. The door was open, and baby steps were taken. So yeah, we got together then with AAEX and through Julie and Kiva and Dara in Monaghan, we explored this idea of putting poetry and painting into the pot, and very much pulling out at random and going with what we got and seeing where that took us, both in words and writing, and then for the artists painting and expression onto a page. And
why the Giant's Causeway? Have you a particular affinity to the region, or?
Well, I'm from Belfast originally, but what happened was, and I can read you the poem that I have it here. I was up at a workshop in Newcastle, and it was pretty heavy going, and I had an hour to spare at lunchtime, and I just took myself off in the car, and I ended up with the car nose looking into the sea, and in my rear view mirror I looked back and I saw the hills rolling down to the sea. So that's what stirred my imagination and released some of the kind of pent up feeling that I had of my head full of theory and business. So it really was it's a hobby and something that I love playing with.
Can I ask you, because it seems quite instantaneous, as you said, you looked out and all of a sudden you were flooded with this imagery and these words. Do you permanently have like a notebook or something with you to capture that in the moment, or?
Now, it's a good theory to do that. And I would sometimes I go off. I mean, I have a lot of journals at home, and I have a room that I recreated. Just it's my little space. It's a little hub where I go, and I would have journals, and I would write down ideas. And then it is a discipline at the same time, because you can go away from it and you can forget it. It does require you to attend to being creative on a regular basis. Now, of course, the imagination fades, at different times. But yeah, whenever you're ready, then the words seem to come, and it's very exciting, to be able to put something on a page, and then it gives you a kind of a picture. Words do paint their own picture, and so it's a kind of a framed picture of what you see, but described in words.
And when you write poetry, because I know people who write prose, and particularly if somebody's writing a book, or it's obviously going to be subject to a lot of rewrites and revisions, and they'll go back and they'll change. Does poetry just go onto the page and stay there, or is it the same process?
I think, I can't remember the exact quote, but I do remember someone saying that the simpler the poem, or the poetry has to seem as if it's written very simply, and yet it's very complex, because a prose writer might have a full book to describe and to create the story and the beginning and the middle and the end, but with a poem, you're looking to tell its story with very few words, and so it is a kind of a condensed and distilled version. But if you get the right word, it creates a great feeling inside. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to hear, I think, the right words, because you have your poem, and we'll get you to read it, and then we'll talk more to Una about what it was then that led her to produce this wonderful piece of art.
Okay, many thanks. Antrim Coast. There are little Ben Bulbins in this landscape too. Behind me, the ba of mother calls her own close. Below, strong youthful bones oar in rhythm for heightened pleasure across rippling pools. A cacophony of movement with hypnotic effect. Nearby, daisies pop their heads, ready to expand as sunshine promises a peak. Above, birds have their view too. An overview, swift and wide, as they gather momentum, then change direction in one swift swoop. A comical bee does his own thing. His line is more direct, less of a dance. He's on a mission, gets right to the point. And what do you know? A heron glides down, lands camouflaged among the rocks and rocking sea. She ducks, then stretches her neck, aerobatic workout, while gulls, it seems, are knocked off their perch as this queen of Fisher struts her stuff. She's solitary too, doing it her own way.
Excellent, lovely words. And I got, because as you were reading that, I was looking over here at Una's drawing, not a painting, drawing, and it's, you know, you get the words and picture effect. It's wonderful because, you know, I'm, as you're saying, oh yeah, I'm seeing that.
It was kind of the bee, you know, the bee following its own line and to the point, and I just thought, oh, that has to be a line drawing, I think, you know, and I haven't, you know, since college, I haven't done one of those, but I really enjoyed doing it now, and just letting the pen take the walk itself, you know. And and the heron then kind of camouflaged among it, so it didn't, even though I think it's there's colour mentioned in the title, I think there, Angela, is it Colours of the Antrim Coast or something, was the title I was given, but it didn't lend itself to colour the words of the poem, you know. For me, it was all about the line and the movement of the things in the area. So that's what struck me.
Una, you said this was slightly outside of your comfort zone because you don't normally, what you do is you do installation work. Maybe you'd explain a little bit more about that, because this is what you do professionally.
It's what I do professionally, yeah. I'm sometimes textile artist, or in installation, multimedia, mixed media, it's all of that, and socially engaged art. And I've been working on the tapestries. We have the Louth tapestry. We're still ongoing with that. Panel 1 is hanging in Creative Spark foyer now, and then I was working on the County Down tapestry. That exhibition is opening this month, and that was 24 panels, and was people telling their own story, and then we stitched the stories, and so that's a kind of socially engaged project. And I'm also involved now in the Tawn tapestry, which are the panels for the Tawn March. So that'd be from Roscommon, Longford, Westmeath, Meath and Louth. So I'm the Louth panel facilitator. And it's, again, a socially engaged project where we get stitchers working together, volunteering to put this panel together. So, and it's all out of Creative Spark as well, and on Tawn Arts Centre. So I work with them both on different works.
And was there ever a temptation then to, you know, when you got Angela's poem, to stick with that, to say, maybe you can do a tapestry, or was it? Yeah,
probably more time, yeah, but it was a bit time bound for me, and I was away, and I actually only had forgotten the art box as well anyway, so I said, right, sure, I'll take the paints out, and then I just had a pen and a page, and actually it worked out perfectly for me, you know. Probably now, even since I had the pictures of the heron up there in the Giant's Causeway as well, so I was going to do a multimedia piece or a digital piece with that, and I work with the print room in Creative Spark as well. I'm a member of the print room there, so I was going to do some work with that. So they're all still floating around, but I'm afraid I've been busy.
Well, the Awash with colour, and talking of busy, what started as, you know, a collaboration, a bit of a lockdown project, and I think initially there was thoughts that maybe there might be one online exhibition or something. It really has grown and taken legs, and you know, I know you've already had an event in St. Helena's Park, or a weekend in St. Helena's Park, or certainly Culture Night event.
It's to do with our 5 years.
Your 5 years.
AAEX for 5 years established. I'm a co-founder with Bernard Gall and Susan Farrelly, and we had the event Culture Night on Culture Night, and then we had a whole weekend of art in the park. So that was lovely with the 5-year project, yeah. But it's just grown legs.
It has, yeah. And they're moving over to your territory, Angela, because this is going to be an exhibition in Aontas.
In Aontas, yes. On Thursday, the 9th of December, there'll be an exhibition with a launch. There'll be, all the visuals will be displayed, and people can walk around, and then the performers will be there as well. So we have the theatre, and the exhibition will run there until early January. So it's a great opportunity for us to come together, and hopefully we'll have an audience on that night, and 8 o'clock on Thursday the 9th of December. And I mean, people can drop in, have a coffee there in the Aontas Centre and view the exhibition. It'll be on display for I think 3 or 4 weeks.
and we've been following it here on Town Talk with great interest. We've had a number of participants in, and I've said this before, I don't think Intas is going to be the last. I think it is just going to be the start of something even bigger. So well done to everybody involved. Two more wonderful pieces of art that are reflective of each other, and a great example of how different disciplines can come together and produce something wonderful. So well done to you. That is Una Curley of AAEX and Angela McCrossan of MOPOSOGS.
97.7 Dundalk FM.
Town Talk.